What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and stimulus news report for Tuesday, October 27th. As COVID cases continue to rise, our stimulus negotiators remain at an impasse once again, and the Senate has now gone home. All this while we, the American people, remain without relief and stimulus once again. Now, before I get into today's stimulus update, I first just want to encourage each one of you, if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend you go and open up a free Webull trading account. Webull is giving 3 free stocks to every single person that goes and opens up a free account and deposits $100. The best part about this is each one of these stocks could be valued as high as $1,600. Now, I am predicting that over the next week, right before the election, we will see some very cheap and valuable stocks, and this will allow you to jump in at a very inexpensive price and be able to ride the stock up and profit over the next few months. And if you stick around till the end of this video, I'm going to give you a few of my stocks that I personally am choosing right now and buying a lot of. So if you stick around, you'll see exactly what I'm personally buying. Now, the stock market is directly tied to stimulus negotiations and the stimulus package as a whole. We know that. Right now, investors, including myself, are not extremely optimistic that we will see a stimulus package before the election. And me personally, I pretty much put this chance at 0%. However, Nancy Pelosi said yesterday, I am optimistic that an agreement is reached prior to the election. Again, I don't think so. Less than a week ago, Nancy Pelosi told reporters that her and Steven Mnuchin were just about there. And when asked about stimulus checks to the American people, Nancy Pelosi said, "We've come, I think, to terms on the direct payments." Now that's really good because the American people do need some additional stimulus and direct payments into their bank accounts, into their pockets. That's what the American people need, and that is what we want to hear. However, right now, again, this is good, but right now, this is not really the case. And I say this because last night we heard very little, or pretty much yesterday, we heard very little about stimulus negotiations moving forward and any forward progress. All we heard was, we're optimistic, we're hoping, we're waiting, and it was just prolonging the issue. Now, this has been a hard thing to follow. And I say this because we hear every single day from Nancy Pelosi, from Steven Mnuchin, President Trump, Mark Meadows, Larry Kudlow, whoever. We keep hearing key differences are being worked out. However, my question is, this has been a 5-month-long process. Why couldn't we have got this worked out months ago and given the American people the relief that they truly need? One of the biggest problems, though, and this is something that I've been looking into every single day, what is the key issue? What is really happening? So I've been spending hours and hours every single day. So if you appreciate me spending hours and hours of my time so that you don't have to, can you do me a favor and smash that like button? I'll greatly appreciate that. But over the last couple of days, I've been looking into this a lot, okay? A lot. One of the biggest issues, one of the biggest problems with these stimulus negotiations has been President Trump's constant need to tweet. This is exactly what senators are saying. This is exactly what experts have been predicting, is that President Trump will get in the way of these negotiations. Well, that's exactly what has happened. Multiple senators have publicly stated that this has made negotiations almost impossible when President Trump always has his phone and is constantly tweeting, saying, let's go big or go home. Why not go and give more money? It's coming back to the people, or coming back to the United States anyway. Well, this is making it very hard. Even Nancy Pelosi stated last week that she is using President Trump's wants as a weakness. She stated, the president needs this legislation. He wants that check to go into people's pockets. He doesn't care about any of the rest of it in terms of what it does for working families. So that's our leverage. You know, that is what he wants, and that's how we're going to try and get the rest of it. So this is exactly what Nancy Pelosi's doing. She's trying to get everything because President Trump just wants stimulus checks to go to the American people. Now, I know he doesn't just want stimulus checks. He wants stimulus to go to everybody. But the main thing that he wants, the biggest contributor to the election would be stimulus checks. So in that area, yes, he wants stimulus checks as a priority over anything else. However, he'd like everything. So would Nancy Pelosi and Democrats as well. Who wouldn't, right? Now, here's the biggest roadblock, okay? The biggest roadblock right now is that currently what's being worked on is the legislation for testing, tracing, and treatment. That's the biggest roadblock. We still have to get to state and local government funding. We still have to get to, tax credits and tax breaks. We still have to get to unemployment. We still have to get to liability protections. Those are all things in the future. But right now, the biggest and only roadblock is testing and tracing. And right now, it doesn't seem like we can get over that. Nancy Pelosi did say last night, and I quote, "In all of our legislation, we have stressed the importance of testing, but the administration has never followed through. The Republicans surrendered to the virus, particularly amid the recent wave of cases. It's official malfeasance. We must come to an agreement as soon as possible, but we cannot accept the administration's refusal to crush the virus, honor our heroes, or put money in the pockets of the American people. It is a matter of life or death, and Democrats are deadly serious about the responsibility we face." Now, the biggest problem right now, okay, is that the committee chairs are working on the language for the testing and tracing portion of the bill. Okay, that's great. But they are struggling to come to an agreement and find common ground. That's the problem. The two sides are struggling to come together, are struggling to find common ground to build off of and really make a solid bill, solid piece of legislation, and put in the language that Nancy Pelosi could agree with, and that President Trump and the Trump administration would be okay with. So, if this continues, we don't know, who really knows, if we will ever come to an agreement on testing and tracing. And if this doesn't happen, then the possibility of ever even seeing a comprehensive stimulus package is pretty much zero. Now, I'm not saying it is zero. It's pretty much zero if we can't come to an agreement on testing and tracing, because we know right now that is exactly what Nancy Pelosi and Democrats want. The only way we could get away with not having testing and tracing put into a bill is if we see a vaccine, if we see this virus just completely vanish, then we don't need testing and tracing. But who sees this virus just completely going away? Nobody. Who sees a vaccine coming to really fix this anytime soon? Nobody. So as of right now, we are still months away from seeing any result. Now, late last night, okay, or earlier last night, Nancy Pelosi had an interview on MSNBC with Chris Hayes, and she agreed with him that the differences over testing and tracing and contact tracing are currently too big to just be patched over or papered over. However, she stated that it could be resolved if the Trump administration would change its position and move their position more towards hers. Well, we know that. And again, Nancy Pelosi is using the leverage that President Trump has given her and that she's talked about to really position the Trump administration into accepting whatever she puts out there. Because as of right now, Nancy Pelosi does hold all the power. But here's what I want you to know. That as of Election Day, when we figure out the results, now we might not know on Election Day all the results, but we should have a good understanding of who really is going to win the Senate. That's a big one. We should know that. And so Nancy Pelosi might lose all her leverage come November 3rd. And if that happens, stimulus negotiations as we know it could completely change. So we need to be prepared for that. Now, before I get into the COVID news for the day, I first just want to let everybody know that there has been an extension. So if you haven't received your full stimulus payment, okay, the first stimulus check, if you haven't received the full amount, whether you were supposed to get $1,200 for you, $1,200 for your spouse, and your spouse never got it, well, you can go and file with through the IRS's website, and you have until November 21st to file to get it. This deadline has been extended. It used to be September 30th. It's now been extended to November 21st, and I'm guessing this would most likely be the last time this extension occurs. So go and do this. Don't forget, get your money. Now in COVID news, the United States saw its second highest case counts for a single day yesterday with 74,323 new cases and 534 deaths. And the Southeast continues to be one of the major hotspots in the entire United States. According to the Washington Post, 41 states and Puerto Rico now have more hospitalizations than they did at the end of September. This is not good. The cases keep increasing, and experts are warning that there's no slowdown in sight. So everybody be careful. And in El Paso County, a judge has issued a stay-at-home order from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the next 2 weeks. And this is something that many are predicting could be a similar scenario leading up to the winter months and throughout the United States. So if you are worried about having a shutdown, you're worried about having a potential modified stay-at-home order, it could happen over the next month or so. So just be aware of that. Now, for my stock picks, okay? So for those of you that did want to see exactly what I'm buying, these are the stocks I'm buying. I'm going to give 3 of them right now, okay? The first one, which I absolutely love, it's a newer stock, it's Rocket Mortgage. I absolutely love this, okay? I love this stock because I'm predicting this stock will be up into the low $30 range by early to mid-spring. So in, let's say, 5 to 6 months. Now, it's currently right at $20, give or take. Okay, as of shooting this video, it's right about $20. So I am predicting that yes, we will see it jump up about $10 in the next 5 to 6 months. So that is the one stock I'm buying. I highly recommend it. Again, I'm not trying to give you any financial advice. I'm just saying this is the one that I'm buying. I like it. I think it has a lot of potential, a lot of upside. The other one is Apple. I really like Apple. I've been investing in Apple for a long time. If Apple drops below $110, I am buying more. I'm slowly buying a little bit here and there, but if Apple does drop below 110, I think they'll get probably in between $105 to $110 over the next week. And if they do, I will buy a substantial amount of shares. Okay. Also, Zoom. Currently they're at, let's say, $520, give or take, right? Well, I feel at $520 for Zoom, that is a bargain, okay? $520 for a stock is a pretty penny. Most people will not have that kind of cash just laying around. But if you do, or if you can buy a fractional share using Robinhood, then I highly recommend you do so, okay? I predict Zoom will reach over $600 sometime prior to the summer of 2020. So in the next 8 months, I predict Zoom will be up over $600. So I could be wrong, but we will see what happens. Those are the 3 stocks I highly recommend: Rocket Mortgage, Apple, and Zoom. I personally love all 3 of those. I'm currently buying them. I'm in them for the long haul. And I will continue to buy more if prices do drop, which I think they will. So, and I don't think they're going to drop, substantially. I think they'll drop a little bit and then they'll rebound. Everything's going to be good. So if you can hold for the next, 3 to 6 months, you should do very well. So that is your second stimulus check update for today. Hopefully you have a great day. Stay safe. Do whatever you can. Mask up. Wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. Social distance. Whatever you want to do, right? Just stay safe. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. Click that subscribe button so I can keep you updated on all the new stimulus updates. And I'll see you guys on the next one.